Hello, everybody. Welcome to Super Secret Fianna game, which will be super secret and not much longer. That's right. Uh, so, hello. The graves are a place in Sept of the Red Branch where many would look down on for people burying the dead. And true, traditional gathering departed, the people are burned, but their ashes are still left, and stones are erected. Symbols detailing a person's name, rank, auspice, family are there to the untrained eye, really simply markings on stone. But to Guru and the kinfolk, it is more than that. The ashes are buried in the stone, placed neatly on top of each other, in mini monoliths. Because you can't go around having all the monoliths, then there'd be none for the High Kings now, would there be? But anyway, it is almost a careful organization to preserve faith and the veil, but it is done in the Gaelic way. Because fuck all that Silverfang shit is the Red Branch non-polite response. So, on this day, the 27th of July, marks a very, very important day. Not a grand celebration of the establishment of SEP. No, that's different. That's later down in August, actually. It's a very different celebration. Today marks a very dark day in the SEP's history. Today is the day where nearly how many years ago? 8 or 9 now at this rate. In 1993, because the year in this game is far different. Was the day that the Red Stag Rebellion, or the Red Stag Revolt as it's called, began. So, you can imagine such a thing. It's an odd thing to celebrate. Many of the newcomers think, all of you here would probably think that as well. Even Kara may have married into the MacTiges, but you are kind of curious why this day is celebrated. It's an odd thing to celebrate something like this. But people come and go to the graves. And once you all arrive, I mean, it's an odd feeling to be there. The graves are expansive. There are many plots there, and there are many monoliths ready to be set out. It's an odd thing to be confronted with a thing you might face one day. But it's an oddly welcoming feeling. An oddly proud feeling because these Fianna, whoever they were, died proudly. Died in battle. Died in glory. Died for Gaia. Each and every one of them. In some shape or form. So it's an odd thing to be around such hallowed things and to hear a tale of a person who was, from all accounts, removed from the very traces of this sept, only in tales of horrific machinations to terrify others about the price of the worm. So as you're all walking in, you'll see an array of people. Some you've never seen before, some you've heard about, yeah, of course. But you will see these people all by the rocks. Some you recognize, some you don't. You will see a large reddish lupus leading the cubs. You see Fiona walking with them. Well, oddly, you could probably assume that that is the dead mother. Maybe Fiona asked permission. Could she be there? Or could she accompany them? You know how Silverfangs be. You will also see these two Galliards as well. Lot of Galliards. But also, there are two people that you definitely will see. One is this man, casts a very shadowy gaze as he's watching. Darkened hair, steely eyes. Just this kind of unnerving watchness is about him. And this man, they don't make themselves in the grandiose gestures, but they stand there proudly, firmly. They look similar, definitely. You can definitely tell that about them. They have the same eyes. In fact, they have the same eyes as Daniel, this very steely, driven look about them. Whereas one of them has dark, thick, black hair, almost like midnight. The other has golden hair. They both stand powerfully and proudly. And eventually you see, sitting at kind of the big, large building, almost waiting for people to congregate and properly get into position, is Tailsfinger himself. His little hat on, his mad, wild beard, and but he's waiting. There are no metas here. And for some of you other people, there is guests here that will definitely surprise you. For they are invited too to hear tales. It's almost as if they are expected to be here. And just let me fix my picture one more time. Bear with me now while I reload this picture from Manningham. But you'll recognize Christopher and his sister. Definitely. They're in the farthest back, but they're here where everybody can see them. And this woman. And so, before we get on to the stories, how are my PCs feeling?
Sean isn't perhaps as well versed in what is going on as some of the, like, I imagine he academically knows what day it is and what is going on. But the fact of the matter is he wasn't there during the rebellion. He's very new to the Sept. He's not as well versed in how this is supposed to go down as people who've done it before. He understands the gravity of the situation, but he's not as emotionally involved because he wasn't there. He didn't have to go through shit like Osei Orla did, watching her friends die so fucking horribly, or Christopher or anybody like that. So he's probably just pretty cautious, a little tense, because this is one of those days you don't fuck up. This is not a fuckable moment. So he's very cautious not to. It's more an air of don't fuck this up. Whatever you do, please just don't fuck this up.
I mean, Kara is like she has an understanding as a Fianna of why you'd mark this day, why there'd be a gathering and tales told, but she actually, like, she's supposed to have a little bit more of a somber occasion than anything kind of celebratory. Yes, it's all gone. Mommy will put it in the trash. And so she's dressed herself appropriately for the occasion. She's not wearing the bright, vibrant colors she usually wears. She's going with no, like, really nothing to enhance her appearance today. She's just got her hair done nice and picked out some weather appropriate, kind of not super flashy clothes. She's mostly staying with her pack. Especially given that, well, there's the Alpha. and the warder here, or the Rye and the warder.
And as for Maeve, it's not a matter of dressing up, dressing down. She always dressed the same way, except for rites. She isn't hanging to the back, isn't completely mute, isn't still necessarily, not quite to the way some are, but she's also not bubbling over. But this is a tale she very much wants to hear and needs to hear. So she hopes. She's heard whispers, she's gotten bits of the story from all manner of sources. Honestly, it was probably ironic in that she went asking after the tale singer only to be essentially just turned in a direction and issued onward. So much like, an eager student to a teacher, she's found her place a seat that's close enough that she can really see his expressions, close enough that she can really feel what he's saying. And she's expectant, and honestly, she truly is trying to take a moment. She's not looking at who's there. For once, she's not looking around, she's not being distracted. If it's so important that she is a Macfion that's here, what more important thing could she learn and understand about this sept than what they've been through? So she's trying to do it the real diligence of keeping her attention on the tale singer, not on who's next to her, not on who's behind her, not on what influential members are present. She's just waiting politely for him to finish his preparations and to tell his story. Very wide-eyed, very eager.
So, Tailstringer stands up. Tall, slim. I wouldn't say he's a big buff guy, but definitely got that athletic prowess about him, He's a guru. So he looks around the crowd, measures everyone. It just watches, and then eventually will start speaking. Well, thank you all for coming here today. For our newcomers and for our young ones. I hope that you take and learn what this day truly means. For all of us. And he takes off his hat and sets it down on one of the gravestones very respectfully. So there's some sort of reverence behind it. Just pictures here now for you all. And as he eases round, looks around as if he's recalling something with great sorrow, but yet revelation. I remember it as if it was an early summer evening. Great feasts and being held, celebrations. One of the young men, his name was Tig. He'd just become a foster in a ruin. Winters and Starlights, they called him, for he had a very particular glow about him in the Umbra. We used to tease him about him often. He used to shine so bright that he fell down a hole. And the only way we could find him was that he glowed. And everyone chuckles a bit. We called him Winters and Starlight because he looked like brand new diamond coming out of coal. And that was when the bells rang. The bells rang that day in Sept of the Red Branch. One of our own fell to the worm. And to get where I was, where you all stand like I stand, it's not an easy thing, is it? It's not. It just doesn't make sense. You go about your whole life preparing and fighting, Saving people, losing people. Crushing the worm under the heel. Retreating and licking your wounds and going right back in there. But it never digs at you the way it does when you realize one of your own fell. A person you trusted. A person that was your friend. Tig was my friend. My best friend in the whole world. And he said that he had been... I had was nothing, you know? I also had another friend. A girl named Kathleen McNamara. She was bright. Funny. Had a real passion for embroidery. She'd make you long embroidered scars that you could wear out in the winter night. You look like a Christmas tree. Used to all get a good laugh out of it, didn't we? Some people nod. Kind of stiff-faced, Orla especially. She had to go to this great feast. Celebration of MacTaig and McNamara. It hadn't been seen in over 10 years. Was happy. And she was one of the main advocates of that. Her grandfather herself swore he'd be at that meeting. I remember her telling me really delighted that they had finally made progress. They could focus on just fighting the worm. What Kathleen didn't realize was that her grandfather was not her grandfather anymore. You see, as he walks along the stones, looking at everybody, the worm infests you. It corrupts you. It weaves its way into that part that Gaia gave you for nobility and pride and strength, and it twists it to something else. It lets in those feelings of when you got kicked down into the ground and you resented people for kicking you down. When you resented another tribe because they didn't understand you, and that resentment build like a sickness. You know what the worm does? It whispers into your ear about that sickness, and then eventually it's not a sickness anymore, it's your greatest weapon. It latches onto old grudges that you had. Old things that you don't even know the beginning of them anymore. It twists it. And it latches onto the most important of all. Fear. You're so afraid that you never thought you were going to win in the first place. You become so afraid that you can't think, you just panic. And you just kneel it down and just down. That's what it does. And they say Conor McNamara was tempted by a queen that promised him, well, the one thing he always wanted: power and respect. Because our fine alpha was chosen over him, and that resentment grew day after day after day. For both were fine men. Both led. Both bled. But like everything in the worm, that one factor just builds time after time until the very friend you recognize that you would die for is your greatest enemy. And so, he twisted other things to him, other people that held those same machinations, those same desires. And they tortured people. And they mutilated them and they deformed them. And those people willingly did it to themselves just for that one taste of things they could never have again, or things that they thought they could never got. And then they marched to the house in which children were raised. Generations of Guru. Good Guru. Honorable Guru. For as much as you all like to condemn the McNamaras now, that line was in the very incorporeal to the very foundation of its sept, and those people who died are right here. He marched to that house with those Fomorians, Banes, and whatever things he had turned into his spiral horde. And Christine opened the door to him, expecting just her grandfather, and she was the first to fall. The first one who just wanted peace. She was the first to fall in the sacking of the Golden Antler Manor. She was my friend. My best friend. There were many others that night who fell. Or they were taken. And if it wasn't for the courage of two individuals here, we would have lost more. Now, some of you, perceptions have changed, and that's something that war does. But I remember the names. Rory MacTague and Christopher McNamara saved two kinfolk that night. Two. Do you know how many were there that night? The Red Stag sacked that manor. 45. 15 Guru. And he pauses, taking a breath, like a genuine, inhalation of breath, as if this is a great struggle for him. As if the very weight of it. And 30 kinfolk were either butchered or tainted from both families. But still, my friend Tyke told me not to fear, that we would conquer. We would win. And so we all rallied and fought. The first battle I went into was the Battle of the Farmer's Path, when they came up the laneway. Do you remember that, everyone? Seeing them all in the fog. Those 25 that we recognized. And you know who I all saw? I saw Kathleen McNamara. Her beautiful face now, a twisted variation of itself. Part of her was dead. I could even see it. But whatever bane had latched onto her and given her life again. And you know what? I froze. And I am man enough to admit that. Fear got me. And who stepped over me to defend me was Tig. Tig Durham, named Ostern the day before, and he died killing her from his wounds. My friend, killing whatever remained of my other friend while I lay on the ground bleeding, too afraid to move because I could not kill my friend. Because I had hope. And I see some of the look on new people's faces, the horror. But I got back up and I kept fighting after Tig fell. And we won that battle. And many of us died. The Red Stag himself did not turn up, no. Instead, there was a large bestial man in pure black armor called the Tower. And we all thought we knew who he was, but no one of us knew. For a great man served at the Red Stag's side and was not seen since for past 2 months. We assumed he moved on. Daniel O'Shaughnessy. Hearn's Tower, they called him. One of the most fearsome Maroons I have ever seen in fighting. And I saw him on that battlefield, butchering his own brothers and sisters as if they were sheep being led into a slaughterhouse. And so the struggle went on. A young Cleith was surrounded by the Red Stag's people. 2 days after that, our pack died from the conflict as we were trying to push to find out where we could reach him. And she was the only one who came back, and she got the information that we needed. That woman is your Wormful. That woman is Nessa McCarthy. And she stood there and endured a barrage of pain. And she was the only one who came back. Now I fought and hunted my fair share. And I encountered many, and I killed one known as the Centipede, spindly man. Tainted beyond recognition, I snapped him in half as we approached one of the Barrow Glens. And I saw the Red Stag himself on that field, and some part of me hoped that he was the same man, that it was all just a mad dream. When he looked at me, I realized there was nothing there but a dead, wormish creature. And there is one figure I have not talked about. One figure that rallied us every day. And that is Cathal MacTaig, who lost his wife, his brother, their family, their children. We found his wife, myself, Cathal, Nessa, flayed and hanging from when we went back to the Golden Antler. We have finally taken it back. Hung from the burning walls. Her skin completely gone. Her eyes, her tongue. And Cathal did not weep. Instead, he tore that place from every stone to the ground. And he did not do this out of some vindictive vengeance against the McNamara clan. No, he did it because those halls which had held generations of honorable men and women, been tainted. And he tore it down, so one day we'd be rebuilt again. But still, every morning, he would get up, he would go patrolling, and he would lead parties to go and find the man who murdered his family every single day. Another friend of all of us, not just me. Would get up just as much as Cahill did, whose name was Sive. She, unbeknownst to us, had fell in love with the Red Stag himself. Even had spawned a Metis for him. And that Metis nearly killed our Alpha. If it wasn't for Cahill and a few others. A few others that are not with us today. And eventually, after his pack, the likes of the Lady of the Rags tormenting those in the fog, the likes of this figure, known only to the kin as the Black Alchemist, we never caught. But would poison kin from their bellies, so they would become infertile and could not breed. And it was only through Right Master's intervention did that thing scurry into the dark. And then came the final showdown, where the Red Stag launched one more attack. We had him outnumbered, but he still faced us on that battlefield. We charged. Sasha, Fangs of Thunder, met him in single combat first, and the Red Stag drove him through with a clave. We were being pushed back. And then we saw Sasha getting back up. The True Catcher clave down the Red Stag's lieutenant, the Blackened Horn. We all began to push the Alpha himself, leading a courageous charge, the likes I will never forget, as we all screamed and shouted, accepting that if we died today, we'd die as free Guru, as free men and women, as Fianna. Orla. By the time I could see her, she was covered in blood, from head to toe, desperately flinging her claws left and right, striking anything that came down at her. And then the Stag of Red met the Stag and the Hammer of MacTaig as they clashed. Blows rained left to right. Cuts, bruising, spittle. As two old friends, a mentor and a student, gazed at each other one last time. As Cahill MacTaig put the hammer to the armor of the Red Stag, he fell like a broken candle. And his final words to Cahill MacTaig were, "Do your duty, for I have done mine." As Cahill MacTaig brought the hammer down one third and final time. He takes a long breath in, this He looks around the crowd, measures it, and he begins to nod to himself. And since then, he became our truth catcher. And pardoned and deemed the remaining families who came to the Sept after the attack innocent of all taint and of all corruption. And we celebrate this day and celebrate the people who died for us, not him, the men who died, the men like Tig, the women like Kathleen, the women like Orla, our Wormfoe, and the people like you. He points at the new arrivals, that includes you guys, and the cubs. The people who come after we are gone. The people who stare at these graves and stare at everyone and breathe a new life. Free of the worm, free of all the things that it pokes and prods at. And that is what we are here to celebrate. Not a man who betrayed his people. Not a rebellion that nearly cost us our lives. But our victory. Our true victory. And he will do this. He has a fuck off reduced diff for this. So it's stamina. And he howls up in the air, this big, massive howl of just pure, like, I'll put it like this. It's pride, it's passion, it's drive, but it also, for those who have conducted themselves differently, for those who have brought conflict even among each other, there's a certain sense of shame that hits you with that howl. For this is the person that fully believes in unity. Fully believes it. For those who feel a certain sense of hatred for other tribes, for those who feel that way, there is this almost a shame that slaps you right in the face. It literally feels like you're being slapped. But for those who, but also in a way, when you recover from that, there is a sense of hope that maybe we can all be better. Maybe we can. There is that constant underlying layer of it. And a drive to it. And then he goes silent, and there is resounding howls from everybody up, and the Right Master will start to pass little small goblets around to people. But how are my PCs doing after all that?
Sean holds his goblet while he stands firmly, still trying not to fuck this momentous occasion up. Like, this is now unmistakably a big deal this day. I'm sorry, you can't walk away from that speech not now fully understanding how big a deal this day is.
Mm-hmm.
He's also kind of in the shame car. So he's trying not to fuck up an important day while holding a goblet in the shame car. It's the best way I could put it.
Okay, how is that hard?
You next.
So for Kara, she's been trying to hold back tears during the story, hearing the story of the rebellion, of how many people actually were taken or tainted or twisted. It's a hard thing to hear, even for her, knowing the bits and pieces she knew of the story. And then with that howl comes, yeah, it to her it does feel like a slap in the face, and she takes a step back, but when the right master comes with the cup, she wipes the tears off her face with the back of her hand and takes a breath to compose herself. Because there is still hope.
And yeah, Maeve's still widely open. Eyes have certainly gone teary over the course of the tale. She practically jumps when the tale singer snaps on that word 45. It's not big, but it's a startle. I mean, the fact alone is horrifying enough, but the venom behind it. And as the tale goes on, before even that howl, it's her eyes have welled up. It's a horrible, horrible tale to have to tell. It's a horrible part of their history, but at the same time, that call for unity, it stirs her up. She's not without her own little bit of shame. Because she hasn't tried to settle things with her packmate. She's been bullheaded and she's been loud and tried to force her to change her perspective. So she's not without a distinct kind of gut twisting shock of guilt. But she marshals it as best she can. I mean, her cheeks probably aren't dry by the time she's offered a goblet, but she just stays in her spot because in the end, this isn't about her. Not really. If anything, it's about the unification. It's about preventing future instances. It's about a lot. But that guilt gnawing in her gut, that's for her to deal with. So at worst, she might get caught, like, rubbing the back of the arm briefly, the back of the hand across her cheek, just to clear it. Maybe across even the eyes, just because it's hard to see when they well too full. But yeah, by the time the goblet's handed out, by the time the howl's done, she can finally look around. She can finally take a moment to tear her eyes away and look at the other people who are gathered there, to see their expressions, to see whether they're full of pride or sorrow or grief or anger. She can finally kind of try to take in the room, such as it were.
There's not really much time to do that. It's kind of terrifying. The goblets get handed out. There's, some sort of clear liquid in there. And the Alpha himself steps up. You can see even in the clothing, the horse designs on it and everything. And he will lift his hands up in the air with this proud... I'll put it like this. When you see Daniel speak, you can kind of know where he was born with it, really. The Alpha of the Sept carries such weight. His golden hair even shines in the light and everything. He just looks every bit the figure you imagine him to be. As he raises the goblet, looks around at everybody, and doesn't really say anything. People just seem to magnify on the sheer presence of him. You could even see people's chests begin to puff out. They begin to... It's almost like he's giving them life. Before your very eyes. You know what I mean? I don't know how the PCs are acting, but it seems to be just this sheer presence. It's almost as if the Alpha is right there with you. You know what I mean? And then we'll eventually lift the goblet and take a strong drink from it, and then look at everybody. Our home is who we are. It will be who we always are. And all I ask from every one of you is when the time comes, no matter how much you're afraid, to ride with me to the very end. To ruin or to victory. As these men and women here did. As we all will. For Gaia. For Stag. And for the Red Dawn. For death. And he beats his chest, and I mean, I'll put it like this. I will roll the alpha's dice, but I'm just going to add the effect anyway, because this is the alpha of a fucking sept. That beat and that howling drum beat, I'll put it like this. You have never felt a man loaded with charisma just, you feel it. As you even take the drink yourself, you feel lifted. You know what I mean? You feel like you're literally about to charge into battle yourself. You know what I mean? It's incredible. You know what I mean? Every bit of the Fianna stories you've heard from Galliards, this man personifies it in your eyes, whether you grew up in a Get a Fenrir Sept in New York, wherever. This is the real fucking deal. And everyone else takes a drink and starts to echo that same slamming on their chest and howling. What did the PCs do?
For her packmates, Kara tends to get starry-eyed. Around other Galliards, storied members of the Sept, there is none of that here. It is just awe and reverence. And when that howl goes up and people start to echo, she tosses her head back and joins in without a moment's hesitation.
Sean is a 19-year-old victim of like 3 kinds of charisma, slap, and booze. He's going right along with this. Like there's too much social power flooding parts of his brain that don't normally get a lot of use. I cannot see a universe in which he would not be trying to echo all of this shit that he has not even vaguely earned. But he'll still go with it. He's still about it, at least in this moment.
Maeve?
Oh, yeah. When the cry is made, when everyone takes their drink, begins thumping their chests, she does much the same. She can see a pattern and a gesture when it's there. So yeah, she swigs back. Depending on how much there is in the goblet, I imagine it's like the token mouthful.
It's water.
Still. So yeah.
That's the beauty of it. Simple water.
I'm not gonna lie, she's surprised. But no, she does the same. She echoes to the best of her ability. Her pipes don't get that much use. She's not used to being surrounded by people who are so vocal. She's not used to needing to be so vocal, but it may be raw, it may be untried and untested, but she still cries out with everyone else.
And so eventually everything dies back down again. And you're, around this place, there is food, there is things. It's almost like you're encouraged to mingle, to drink, to feast together. It's almost encouraged, which is probably a jarring thing to feel, but yes, it is. So yes. So let me just get the Gray's picture back up for you guys.
I guarantee you this is... Oh, sorry, go on.
No, go ahead, dude.
I guarantee you this is the first time that Sean has seen a fucking buffet in a graveyard.
It's kind of, laid out in the back. People actually start walking among some of the family graves and laying out new wreaths and all that as well. Tending to any of the broken leaves and all that. This is, for the Americans, is what they call, it's a mixture of pattern, which is where they tend to the graves and sing stories of the fallen, mixed in with some of the old Guru traditions. It's a very old, you see it in modern day as well, but it's got a mix of a lot of Celtic connotations to it as well. It's about honoring your ancestors by taking care of the place that they were buried.
Sean looks around, looks at his packmates, and puts a ham hock hand on each of their shoulders. And I want to be clear that this is only said in the pack link. I want to make that certain right here, right now. Because the one thing their leader gives them is no fucking fighting. And then
No fucking fighting.
he heads for the buffet.
No, of all the things that are starting to happen as people begin to stir and move to get food to tend to the graves, it's almost like a weird kind of autopilot. That was
That
interesting.
one weird. That one weird.
Yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, it's almost like an autopilot. This is tending, and a place of the dead isn't something to be afraid of. And more than anything, she, after the clap and, a little nod just to make sure Sean knows she understands, she unfolds herself from the ground and, oh, Jesus. She's heard the one song. Don't make that joke. Just begin kind of gravitating, especially, I imagine there are some areas where families, are attending in mass to the graves that are of their fallen, but by the same token, there are probably those that are further, less tended,
Yep.
and she gravitates to those just because it all needs tending, doesn't it?
I'll give you the names of the families you find, actually, mate.
Yeah, she will. She will take the time, especially for those that nobody else seems eager to tend, to crouch down in front of them, to read the names, the epitaphs, to wipe away moss that has grown there.
There you go, Katie.
That is interesting. At least one of those is really interesting, but okay. Yeah, she tends them. Very dutifully goes to those that others are kind of saving for last.
If you look at the dates, and particularly, say, the Lynch, O'Malley, and Hughes one, they were 1907. They were killed in the original taking back of the set.
Huh.
When they founded the cairn here again.
Yeah, she'll find that maybe a bit strange. Because you'd think those would be people of reverence. Perhaps not as apt to this particular story, but...
I'll put it like this. This was very much like we're going out on our own. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Some of these would be like the third or second sons of families from Tri-Spiral. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those who fell, not a lot of their families came with them. They're honored and shit here, but time can only do so much, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, like, that's the thing you definitely know, is that a lot of these families, like the MacNessas, took a huge risk coming out, taking their whole family, but they mainly took like second sons, third sons, you know what I mean? From different families with them. Those who had no glory went to seek it. So probably these ones who fell were the second and third sons of bigger families from different areas.
Yeah, she will take the time to read the names, try to commit them to memory as best she can, try to mark which ones see the least tending, so that when she does come back around, she can make sure they are.
But it's an interesting point of note that you would know, Maeve, about the set common knowledge, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What are the rest of you doing? Before I start throwing NPCs in you guys' faces.
Sean is going to the buffet, takes a respectful spread doesn't take like the Arun amount. But people cook this, and he's going to eat it. And stands there awkwardly, probably closer to like new arrivals and people that after all of that he feels he has any right to be near. They're in the same boat as he is.
Kara?
Kara will take. She's not like really tending the graves per se yet, but she is walking among them, getting like reading the names, getting a sense for who these people were. Because she is young, she is new, but yeah, that's her job as a Galliard, to remember the fallen.
All right. So, Sean, you will be near. I'm gonna say where my people at. So these people are standing relatively like near as well. Fiona's up with the cubs. These people are just standing, like watching. You slink over to them, I'm assuming.
Safety.
They just kind of nod respectfully. Some of them have food, some don't. Do you say anything? Do anything?
He nods. It's hard to find things to say in this situation. Like, both fortunately and unfortunately, the tail singer and the alpha did a lot of the important talking there. There's not much for a whelp to say at such an occasion.
Yeah, if you don't talk to them, they kind of adopt a very similar tactic. They kind of just sit there.
Teams.
So Maeve, what are you doing then after you tend to the graves mostly? And you can have that conversation if you want in regular speak, not just side chat.
I can.
People.
Oh, as she's wiping away another one of them, hell, probably pulling up the hem of her shirt to get in where moss has grown in the lettering before she swipes a hand across the top, just tracing the fingers as she moves away. And the thought, just ripples through the link. What happened to the other 8? He said there were 45 kinfolk. 2 who were saved. He said 35.
No. There was 45 altogether, 15 kinfolk and 35 kinfolk. 15 guru, 35 kinfolk.
Oh, okay, 35. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
Thank you. Then, I guess that checks out. Never mind then, I guess I won't have any of that conversation.
Just gotta make sure you got that right, because it's like, no.
Yeah, I mixed it up and thought he meant 45 kinfolk.
No, there was 15 guru and 35 kinfolk.
Okay. Yeah, no, she just, in that case, is just fixated on the story, and honestly, speaking so passionately, one kind of can't help their imagination. She can't help but, especially with what she's seen, visualize some of the people from that story, and it's haunting. But she's finally moving back when she's tended to a suitable number of the graves, and honestly, probably just drifting, looking around, seeing who's nearby, seeing who's not. Seeing who has very distinctive expressions that might catch her attention.
I mean, you'll see this family in full force by one of the graves. Let me get them all. Go away, fly. You see this family? Like the entire family?
Oh boy. Gathered around one grave?
Yes. Well, like, it's more like a central plot of graves.
Yeah.
I'm kung fu fighting this fucking fly. Sorry.
Oh, I needed that visual. Sorry.
Fiona and Daniel are by one grave. The father, the alpha, looks at the grave with them as well for a hot minute and then walks to another grave beside the dark-haired man.
Hmm. Would she even have, like, can she visually identify him as the alpha? I can't remember
Yeah.
if it was announced. Okay. I was really caught up in the talking about the past, not so much the whether or not someone pointed and straight up said, the alpha!
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Then yeah, she'll probably wait for him to start to drift just because, that is a little auspicious even for her. Though, if the other two are standing there by the one grave, she'll eventually come over to essentially pay respects because she has a guess.
And then you come over and they're just, staring at it. Not with any, like, they're not crying or any of that shit. They're just staring, silent.
Dare I ask what the name on it is?
Quiva Macnessa.
Whew. Oh god. Give me 1 second to make sure I'm got my brain on straight. Yeah, I do.
Yes.
In which case, she does come up and probably on Daniel's side, just because the sister doesn't know her that well, and it seems weird to walk up alongside someone you don't know. But she does kind of come up off, a step to the side to look and to make some gesture of respect. Anything, really. She has a guess. Did they really respond to her being there?
Eventually, yeah. And then just look over.
My condolences.
Just nods, kind of silently.
And I mean, she'll look between the both of them. It's not a one-person thing to offer. What is the... I assume the date of death is, apt to story time.
Yes. Yes. It would have been about a month ago. Just before you guys arrived. Grace, really fresh and nice.
Oh, I know what the thingy says.
It looks really nice. It's like oh.
It looks really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine. Well, I mean, it's probably one of the newest ones there. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, honestly, she's offered that much. If neither's especially prone to speak, she'll just. I mean, not in a way where it's like I'm just going to hover near you so much as I'm going to take the appropriate amount of time to look at this, recognize who it is. I mean, and honestly, probably take a glance aside because, well, fuck it. Let's make a conversation here. So,
Yes.
yeah, it's a glance over. Your mother?
And just nods idly. Yes.
Doesn't say anything about her cause of death on the epitaph. Because all I know is that, like, a rough idea of her dying around time of his rite of passage.
It said that she took illness, a very severe one.
Jesus Christ.
Some believe it was complications of childbirth, but they're not sure because some initially thought, oh, she might have been pregnant, but she wasn't, and it basically she started complaining. That's what it says here. It's that essentially is complications initially due to misdiagnosed illness and then eventual death.
Jesus.
They said that potentially that there was a child involved, but there was no signs of her displaying any signs of pregnancy. But her belly had swollen.
I mean, it's just this kind of sympathetic glance aside. Sorry. I wish I'd had the chance to know her.
Nods.
Did they ever determine what happened?
Some sort of disease ripped her way through her intestine. It's a swelling. Some sort of tumor.
It was just a very soft nod.
She began to complain of headaches and was vomiting.
I don't think there's many things I could say that haven't been said.
Nods.
If you were any kind of example, she must have been a very good woman.
Yes. Thank you for the compliment.
Again, this faint smile, probably a bit of a nod to both. Is this feeling in any way kind of forced just to fill the silence, or is he just kind of idly volunteering things?
He's volunteering things. Dinah's not trying to fill the silence. She's just volunteering things. Sister's not really listening. She's just staring off. You know what I mean? She's in her own little world, really. If anything, she's busy kneeling down, probably double checking things almost. I mean, a bit too meticulously, you think?
And rumor wise, it does say right after his return.
Mm-hmm. She died when he arrived back.
Oh god, like
An hour after.
oh. Jesus.
There is tales that Daniel walked in and they knelt down with her and she died an hour later. Some of the Galliards, in their attempt to be noble, have equated it to her strength that she wanted to see her son become a Fianna before she died.
That is a very goddamn noble way to put it. Bless their hearts.
Yeah, that's what the tale singer has done. The Alpha himself has told no tale or anything like that since his wife's death. Even now, he didn't say any tale. He just gave a little thing, and that's it. Even then, you notice he stared at it for about 40 seconds and then walked away.
I hope she at least heard your story.
She did.
So, weak attempt, a half smile. Glad.
She died smiling. That is all we can ask for in life.
It is. I mean, she might pitch a glance over to the Alpha, just because it is a curious thing that he would be there so briefly.
And he is beside the water, looking at a different grave. The two are quietly talking.
It still hurt very much.
Yes. More than you realize.
Is there anything that I could do?
No. You have done enough.
So she offers again, a little bit of a nod. I'd like to hear about her sometime. If you could.
Perhaps. One day. One day.
Oh, there's a small smile with that. She'll Leave the siblings in peace.
I see Fiona get up after you leave, and she slowly puts like one gentle arm around Daniel.
Oh.
I mean, if Fiona, appearance-wise, anything to go have, her mother must have been a sight. You know what I mean? It's like, wow. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just off pure Fiona's appearance, because the stories say that Fiona looks exactly like her mother when she was younger. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So you can imagine what that actually looks like. You know what I mean? Just wow.
Yeah. It's definitely something. Yeah, she'll mingle back around. I'll give someone else a shot at some shenanigans.
All right, whatever. What's everyone else doing?
Then Kara's probably heading over to take a look at the family graves and help out over there.
There is a lot of, like, you see by the dates, Reichstag Rebellion, Reichstag Rebellion, Reichstag. You know what I mean? It's like, Jesus Christ.
And she's just kind of mentally, like, tallying it up in her head and just. You know, shocked and hurt by the number.
You see various figures there. You'll see probably Rory. Let me see. Um, Sonia, their son Oshin. You see Sulog as well, definitely. And standing off on his own, very much on his own. He's actually not near the MacTag family. Is the True Catcher himself.
Oh. Kara's gonna go over to see him.
True Catcher?
Mhm.
He's just standing there. There's like you see the plume of pipe smoke.
Raya.
His back's to you, so he just goes, yes.
I don't know what to say.
Not much you can say.
No, I don't suppose there is.
You looking at the grave he's looking at?
Yeah. Yeah, she is.
Rose MacTag. And their 2 children. Quinn
Oh.
MacTag and Evelyn MacTag. Ages 4 and 5. Buried together.
Is there anything I can do? Right?
Break a silence for a bit. People always say that when they wish to ask something they don't want to ask.
Will you tell me about them?
Why?
Someone should remember more about them than just how they died. Someone should be able to tell tales about their life, who they were.
Plume of smoke goes up from the pipe. They were the one thing in my world that I always wanted. Someone took them away from me. And no amount of rank, deed, or the hole in the red stag's chest can satisfy the hole they left behind. Is that all you want, Galliard? Or can I grieve on my own?
Of course, Raya. She'll back away.
You're turning. Take a drag. He doesn't look angry. It's just very firm. But when he says you can feel just the pain, slight bit of pain in his voice, but then he turns back and you'll see him put the pipe in his mouth, take another drag, and just stare down at the grave.
Yeah, she's gonna go over to see her cousins now.
Do you see all the gang here? Let me just get O'Shane back here. They're all there.
She'll just come up. Raya's cousins.
There's just a nod. Tony gives you the kind of motherly little smile that she always has. Are you alright, Carol? Just say.
I never heard the whole story before.
Just nod.
It's a hard thing to hear. What are we doing? What should I be doing?
So he'll lean over, mingle, partake of the food and the day, and let those who have lost grieve and mourn, and be ready when they want to come to you. Forcing yourself on them will only make them push. Now, be there. Not in the foreground, not in the background, just be in their line of sight.
Kara will nod. Okay. Yeah. I guess I'll get some food then.
Just a nod from her, very like motherly.
And Kara will head off to the buffet table.
The food's really nice, if that helps. Eat sadly.
It does a little bit, yeah.
It's really nice. It's all homemade and everything. It's like, oh, this is really good. Just eating slowly.
Hmm. This is such a lovely meal to commemorate the day with. Yeah.
Just eating slowly, eating cake. But yeah, no, people are just milling around and chatting and all that sort of stuff. Is anybody else trying to do anything?
It is time for Sean to play the world's most dangerous game of Pac-Man. He will not bring the food with him to do this. There's some shit that's beyond even a player character, okay? Because we have to evade people who are directly mourning in front of graves and do not want to be disturbed. But our other task is to look at the names of all the graves we can. Which is why I'm describing this as the world's most dangerous game of Pac-Man, because you have to make some hard right turns to accomplish this.
Yes. I mean, you can move it around. You'll see. Let's get it now. You see these three people at the one grave. They're probably the only people who look similarly happy mourning the graves. Almost, it's an odd feeling.
Yeah, Sean's not that fucking dumb.
hang on. They look at the oddly the cheeriest out of people, which is an odd thing. They're oddly cheery while being at this one grave.
This is so much more disturbing than any other outcome.
Hang on now. And final one. There you go. These three they're by the one grave, and it's not like they're laughing and joking, but they seem to be talking to each other, and there is actually genuine smiles on their faces.
There is confusion in young Sean. At least two of these people have been figures of fear and beatings in his life. It is weird to see them smile. It's fucking weird.
Especially when you see Sasha smile. It's like,
Oh,
it is strange.
Something is wrong in the world.
Strange and unnatural.
Why is he smiling?
Oh, he's going to kill me.
Sean's not arrogant enough to think that even a malevolent Sasha smile would be for him. For who is he? You know, some blip on Sasha's occasional boot-shaped radar. but he fears for whomever's soul that smile is intended for. Yeah, he Pac-Man's pretty hard. Like, they're happy right now. Let's not fuck up the Adrian Trio's whatever this is. He will make a note to himself privately in his mind to go see which grave that is later. But
I mean, you can hear them as well. You heard the tail singer. And do you remember the time Tig fell off the fucking tree? And I was like, oh yeah. Thought, oh yeah, no, I'll climb up it. I'll climb up it naked. What he didn't realize is that you had planted the fucking bees, the honey all over the tree sap. And Sasha, and he didn't expect me to goad him. And they all started chuckling to themselves, like, no, he didn't. We always Tig not to refuse a challenge, yeah? So he went up the beehive, remember? Naked, as we planned, because of course, you know, being a new, getting to foster, and you had to withstand the elements, as Sasha said. I did. What he didn't realize was that we had planted enough bees to fill an entire English army of bees. 800 years of bees, you might say. Not disordered, she chuckles. So he went up the beehive, and his midriff stopped at where we exactly had planted the nest, and next thing you know, remember? Sasha nods. They're in me fucking Jap's eye! And they all start cackling.
oh dear. Yeah, Sean has to stop and like process that one.
And then the tail circle's like, and then he came screaming into the thing, which swells everywhere imaginable, and he dived into the middle of, remember Kate's fucking, the big bowl broth thing? Dived his arse on top of it, and said, sorry there now, ma'am. I need to cool off because I literally can't feel anything below the important parts of which I can spread my lineage. They all start chuckling, cackling again.
Sean will admit it's pretty fucking funny.
Sean's like, damn it!
He's like, I cannot take part in this, but it's hilarious.
Oh, Tig. You know, just at the grave. They each take the goblets as well and pour it out on his grave as well.
Okay. Sean has gained knowledge this day and now knows whose grave it is, most likely. It'd be fucking weird for them to be at somebody else's grave doing this.
I mean, you see Fiona there as well. She's like off by some of the cubs. The cubs are like, we're just gonna stand here and be awkward. As the dead mother leads them around, like, look at this, at this, at this, and they're like, yay, dead things. Do you know what I mean?
You know what? Can I boost my learning curve?
What?
The
What are
dead
you
mother's literally going around giving a lesson right now. I just
Mhm.
want to be in earshot. Don't mind me.
Oh yeah, she sees you looking, she pads over and like takes you, like knits your clothes and starts pulling you back into the line.
Oh God, Maeve has now been integrated.
Yeah, Fiona's there too. She's like, she just pulled me. Escape.
I mean, there's kind of the I'm not even mad shrug. Like,
Yeah, the worst part is Sean's getting caught up in this because he was Pac-Manning, but the fucking lupus over there defied the laws of Pac-Man. All right. She crossed somewhere that was not a T intersection and just got him. So
But
now he is another duck in the row.
Kara,
You see Fiona deviate from the duck in the row to another grave. It's like a bit further off. He kneels down in front of it.
Yeah, okay, you've got me. It's hard not to see where Fiona is. Her hair is literally bright white.
It's all platinum.
You'll head towards the platinum beacon.
And I will get to the other ducks in the row in a few seconds. Don't worry. We're going to have lots of fun with Lupus Mama. She's kneeling before it.
It's not dumb enough to say anything, but This is another name on a grave, and that was his objective this whole time. He wants to get a good look at that.
That is Colm O'Neill.
He examines the birth and death dates.
Death dates were, from what you can guess, not during the Red Stag Rebellion, but 4 years after. So you're guessing by judging by Fiona's age, it's probably when she was about 4.
Okay. Sean calculates internally. It's a really sad thing to watch on a Manip 2 Subterfuge 0 man.
Thinking.
You can just see him just looking at his lips like thinking. Rune, think. Briefly examines Fiona. Probably gets nothing. He has empathy to 0.
I mean, Fiona's difficult to read as well. She's very stone. She's a kind of stone-like face.
Yeah.
She takes out a small little knife as well from her back, like her back pocket, and just adds it to the monolith and just buries the dirt over it.
Sean watches with naked curiosity.
She'll turn her head like, oh, just does that. Oh, fuck, you're there.
They both go at that point because that's a sudden noise.
I didn't know you followed me.
More like I happened upon you.
Right. Stands up all awkwardly, like dusting herself down.
Yeah. I don't I'm not gonna like say anything to anybody.
About what?
Exactly.
Eyebrow raise? What do you think I'm hiding?
I don't think you're hiding nothing. It's just your business is your business.
Why do you think people will pry into it?
I don't know people, man. People are people.
Do you think people are as curious as you?
Kind of scratches the side of his head because that's a hell of a philosophical question.
I thought they would follow me and watch me as I do something. Sean.
He's trying to make me paranoid. He actually does look around the graves.
And what are you paranoid about?
You brought it up, man.
Is there a reason to be paranoid?
Sean EXE has to reboot.
Do you
Now
think after a speech like that you're suspicious of everyone else?
I don't know what I think. I don't think about these kinds of things a lot.
You do know what you think, you just don't know how to say it.
I mean, yeah.
Why?
Why what?
Why would you be paranoid after a speech like that?
Fuck. He's struggling. Like you can watch him
what are you
struggle.
so afraid of being honest with people about, or what are you so paranoid of people learning? Do you think that because we are all doing things differently to how you're used to, there's something wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with you guys.
Then what are you afraid of? That a riot's going to catch you emoting and we'll be forced to roll up a newspaper and slap you in the back of the head?
He just kind of looks back at where most people, they are a little busy right now.
But you're still checking to make sure. On a Fianna set, no less. smiling.
Yeah.
So you're paranoid of showing emotion on the one place where emotion probably be celebrated.
I I ain't earned that kind of thing. Not here.
Mm-hmm. I could not tell.
Yeah. For real though, I I don't got that kind of right.
If that's what you wish. But I thank you for what seems to be you a matter of great seriousness, so I'll respect it and consider it definitely a compliment. Definitely something to treasure.
Well, we've been in it together, and I think of you as a friend.
Nod. That's as good. I was beginning to think you didn't know how to make friends.
Yeah, well, I guess you just have a way of bringing out better things in people, Fiona. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm normally not a good guy.
Ah, I see. Smiles. If you are not a good man, like you suggest, then how you would have already beaten your galley out in public for her doings. And you would have made sure that whoever saw you, you would have established yourself as the most dominant alpha and humiliated her for it, if you are not as good a man as you think. But I noticed you did not do that. Instead, you decided to take a side and stand by your principle, and remind her that in certain things you did not put her in line for your own ego. You did it to spare her harm. If anything, Sean, that makes you a very good man trying to deny himself a common trait I'm noticing among you, Fiona.
Sean short circuits.
To lean over, it's almost as if by denying it, you don't actually have to come to the truth that you know deep down in your heart. And the reason you joined the Fiona tribe, despite however much you say, I did it because whatever, you know exactly what type of man you are and know what choices you want to make for yourself. But that's okay. It'll be our little secret. You just, pat you on the shoulder and start to move past.
Who was he?
My father. My father died when I was young. He came to be buried here. I wish to come to the step where I could know my father, since I never knew him. Know the people he grew up about. You grew up your whole life being the half-daughter of a dead husband that your mother does not wish to remember, or they were so deeply in love, it's too painful. You wish to know the figure that You cause such joy, but yet so pain at his passing. Perhaps maybe we're both as fucked up as we think we are.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, it'll be our secret. And she's, does it polite little nod, almost like she's giving you a mock, like, my lord, curtsy.
Yeah, he kind of smiles at that. It's pretty funny.
She starts to stride. I learned that in private school. And she's like walking along some of the graves, examining them.
He just kind of shakes his head and starts rubbing his forehead a little bit.
Meanwhile, back at the conga line, Kara comes over with food. The den mother eats the food and starts pulling you along. Thank you. Come on, in line. We're hearing stories.
Hi. She'll wave.
Pads along. Come now.
Okay.
And she starts explaining the various, the bannermen of the original Alpha, of the Sept, explaining their deeds, who they were. She knows all of them, every last one, minute details, including silly things that they all did. Silly Homins do very silly things. She nips at Elizabeth's arm when she gets distracted as well. She'll nip at you guys' arms if you seem distracted. Just get you right in the elbow. Like, ow, funny bone.
Maeve sees that happen like once, and it's like, man, I have never paid more attention than I am paying right now in my life.
Duncan gets way too enthusiastic. Like, oh my god, this is this guy? You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
And Elizabeth nods and takes it all in, and she's, they're doing their best. You know what I mean? I imagine that you two are as well. It's like, oh my god, oh.
Yeah, story time is serious.
She even shows you the original Alpha's grave, which is the big monolith in the big church building.
Ooh.
Irla Macnessa, known as, let me just double check my notes because there's so many notes. Oh my god. Irla Macnessa, known as Mists of Avalon and Athrophiana Thierge. And the Macnessa crest is carved into the monolith. The lion chasing the flame.
Ooh.
I imagine, and she tells you a big story of how he single-handedly broke the line of the worm, reclaiming the Claren and all that. It's pretty fucking. You saw the poster of it, Maeve.
Oh.
And she's very good. You know what I mean? As a Lupus, she understands the whole print. She explains the tactics and the strategies and how they all honor the traditional methods of the Garou by switching into more wolfish forms to be more cunning. And it's very
Story time is best time.
And again, if you're all not paying attention, that right bit of skin on the elbow just drags it with her teeth.
A meanie would do.
Stares at you. Pay attention. Story. If you do not know story, you will not gain glory. Right?
And Kara just nods like, yes. That's exactly right.
You, City Hamid woman. Pointing at Maeve with her snoot.
I was gonna say, the two redheads look at each other like, wait.
Like, what?
All the females look at each other because they're all Hamid.
Wait, which one of us?
Yeah, Elizabeth's like, please don't be me again.
That is amazing.
Hand over to Maeve. Put down flowers. They are not for eating.
You're such a dick.
Goodness, I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
Well, no,
Likely story.
She would lick the side of Maeve's face.
Oh.
Nervous. Sit down.
Sits.
You are Macfion. Yes.
Yes.
How come you do not know these stories?
I grew up. She kind of pauses and squints for a second, like, in New York? Very far away.
Staring. Oompa stare.
We were never taught these stories.
Very well. I will not fight you for this. It is not fault if you're not taught proper way. Sage nod.
Just a little nod of like, oh, thanks.
But I would teach you proper way.
Yes, sir.
And then if you do not know, I will bite you. Only fair.
That is very fair.
Yes. Looks at Kara like yes. Yes. Yes.
Kara nods. Yes.
It's just yes. It's like for the love of God, say yes.
For the love of God, I'd answer this canine.
Good. Puts her paw on Maeve's head like the pat, pat. I will not demean you to make you listen to stories with cups. You are so clear. You have obviously earned such favor. Yes. But you will still come to educate on stories. Everyone can come educate on stories. Yes.
Yes, of course, sir.
Nods. Sits down in the grass. Rolls herself a bit like, yes. Do you know what I mean? Good. Den Father will also have stories. But he is silly Harmony. She says under her breath.
The faint smile.
So he does not know stories in as much detail as me. Yes. Because he is silly Harmony. And again, under her breath.
There's just kind of the little nod, and mostly she kind of gives a little nod, and of all things goes, well, we do tend to have an awful lot running around in our heads.
Yes. Yes.
Cracking a smile.
Yes. Oh. But we will teach you many stories, not just of battle and important things like Silly Helmet do. So many things to teach. We will teach you about her. This is a lot of pride in her voice. Oh, you know what I mean? Oh.
There's the little rock back because bark.
Pads, jumps and falls up and down.
That
Hearn
would be wonderful.
teach glory. Hearn teach this. You are Theurge. You bring wisdom, but you also must bring glory with your strength of spirit. Theurge was alpha of this set. No excuse.
Yep, nodding. No excuse.
Too skinny. Pokes her skinny little hands.
She gets prodded. Hey, yeah.
Even opens her mouth to not bite you. It's almost like she's testing how big is your arm if I can put my mouth all. You know what I mean?
Ironically, she doesn't seem the least bit upset about it. She just, if the dead mother wanted to bite her, she'd fucking bite her.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's one of those things where she just kind of looks over, with that kind of inquisitive, what are you? Okay. If you want a mouth, go ahead, essentially, just curious.
She lifts up your arm in her mouth and then plops it like bleh.
I am very skinny.
Yes. Extreme. But we will fix this. No sense in kicking you down. We're not. Look. Left. Right. Up. Side.
Up.
Up.
I can't.
Get the fingers.
There's the quietest little smile, nope, we're not.
But we are Fianna, and we drove get the fingers out. Yes.
That is the way
Yes.
I've heard the stories go, yes.
Nods. Good. You heard that story. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
We are stronger than get the fingers. Sage nods to herself, yes. You don't need to convince me, I already know.
Again, it's the faint smile. So, after all, you're still here and they are not.
Yes. Pat jumps up and down.
Oh, God.
Like I said, Rage 4 Galliard is all like, yes, yes, we did.
The
You know what I mean?
Kool-Aid!
You will learn this,
Jesus.
and you will be stronger than them.
Mhm.
Yes.
Nodding. Yes.
Looks at Carrie. Yes. Starts like her fur starts being up, and Elizabeth's like, yes.
Like,
You know what
yes,
I mean?
yes, Raya.
Good. Now go learn more stories. Go, 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 go. Need to go, go. Lifting up her paws. Ugh.
Fucking get on it. Oh!
Do it. Nudging you. Go. And
Just
flops
like that
down on the
to
ground.
Carl, like, oh.
Like, yes, this is my place now. Yes, comfy. Eating some of the food.
Carol, just look at me. So I tried to bring you a plate.
You know what? I'm fine. Don't know.
She looks at the cub and makes the most like, can I have some? Do you know what I mean?
Oh my god.
Cub.
The dead mother makes baggy eyes at the cub.
Of course she does. She's like,
Oh
Paz
my
over.
god.
My mother is hungry. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. And I'm like,
Fred,
"Okay, well."
I can't. I can't.
Leans on them as well. She's like, dead mother need feeding.
Opens
Yeah.
mouth ball.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. And it's like, oh, here you go. You know what I mean?
Yes, love me more.
Yeah, the mother likes it. It's mainly because she Galliard. Whoa. That's the impression. Dead mother's favorites are Galliards. No like a runes. Stubborn.
Oh god.
And Philodox, they tell her no.
Oh. Oh. Sounds dangerous.
Exactly. Philodoxes and a runes. Yes.
Sean the Arun continues his Pac-Man quest with an eyesight of you.
Are you guys going anyone in particular?
I will ask the dreaded question. How are the
Yeah.
how are the three McNamara doing during all this? Are they generally,
Yeah.
I assume, being left alone, or
Kinda, yeah, pretty much. I mean, people like the children of the oak kind of come up to them, mainly Christopher, and they're polite, but not many people do. Tailsinger actually does come up and talk to them for a brief bit.
well, that's good.
Like people don't like go out of their way. Like some people come up to them, talk to them, but yeah, do you know what I mean? They mainly kind of keep in the back, but they were always there. You know, myself, yeah, but,
I mean, you said they're mainly keeping to the back.
yeah, but they're by this like one of the stone walls.
Okay. So, like, is there? Are they just kind of like in the back there, out of the way, or are they sort of, like, do they seem like they're gathered around any gravestone or set of gravestones in particular?
No, not really. Actually, they haven't gone near any of the graves yet.
I was actually going to ask that too.
Nope, they have not yet. And not again. It's not like they're doing it out of disrespect. They're just like, we're just gonna be here.
We're just gonna wait. Let's me you guys clear out.
Kind of what they're doing, really. They're like, we're just gonna be over here. Don't mind us. Oh, for the love of God, don't mind us. But yeah, you can totally go over to them. Like they're not exactly going. You know what I mean? And they were receptive to the Tailsinger and the True Catcher, not the True Catcher, the Tailsinger and the Children of the Oak actually came over. You know what I mean? People actually did come up and talk to them, and they responded. Oh, you will say this in terms of Elena, the Morin's mother. They Morin and her. Like, I mean, you can immediately tell that's a mother and daughter, like almost like nigh immediately.
Aw.
Elena looks very young, actually, for a mother. I'll say this. It's kind of surprising. Like, oh, you could probably maybe, like, I wouldn't say mistake her for an older sister, but you could see maybe like do you know what I mean? A younger aunt or something.
I was gonna say, like, fortunately, my wife beat me to the punch, but we're here now. The Sean approacheth.
Oh, snip, snap.
Oh yeah, that's right, Mr. Mr. Social Butterfly himself. Just finished playing Pac-Man.
All right, you finished by Pac-Man. Who you going? You going over to these guys?
Yeah.
You will notice, Sean. They go behind Christopher. Not like out of fear. It's almost like we're just gonna don't mind us strategically. And suddenly, by the time the Aguru arrives, they are directly behind him.
That's fine. Sean has interacted with Christopher before. He knows the far enough distance.
Like again, Elena's more like I would say this. Morin is directly behind him. And that kind of you know sisterly. Like I'm just gonna be behind my big brother.
Yeah.
Elena is more kind of at his shoulder side, if you get what I'm saying. She's just behind him. It's more of a you're the Garus, you take the front, but I'm right here. You know what I mean? They're
Gotcha.
both kind of taking a protective stance on definitely Morin.
That's fine. Sean knows where to stop. Not going to walk directly up to these people.
And you would have noticed they did that to everybody, though. Even the tail thing and all that. They did that to everyone.
Yeah. No, he's not going blazing a trail here.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I'm trying to say. Like,
oh, naturally, it's just something Sean would have noticed. It's not like a particular thing, if you get me.
Yeah. Brian?
All right. I hope you are enjoying the pattern.
It is a sight to behold.
I imagine it's a very different experience coming from different custom.
Yeah, definitely.
Just gives a nod, like, no, I understand, buddy. You know what I mean? I got
yeah.
you.
No, this is the first time I've seen something like this.
They would commonly do this every 2 months, but they make a special exception for events such as these. It's to make sure that the graves of the fallen are not in disrepair.
No, that makes sense.
You should see it when we celebrate the name day of the sect. It is a much more joyous occasion.
Sean.exe is thinking briefly. That makes sense.
Nods. And at least the food is appetizing.
Oh yeah, the food here is always good. This beats the holy hell out of just child broiled meat.
My he doesn't call her his mother. Elena made the soup.
Oh, it's really good. I should know. I think I kind of accidentally drank most of it. I got one, and then I just kept going. Side chat, you killed me.
That's just me fucking around. But Elena just nod. It's seafood chowder. So it is mixed in soup, and I kind of made my own thing of it. So I hope you appreciated it.
I mean, I really did. I don't think
It was really fucking good. Like, you know,
like, it was like Sean's not lying. He probably did impolitely eat most of it.
That's the thing. You notice the runes were like, "This is fucking amazing." You know what I mean?
I can imagine if Sean and the Get of Fenris were the first two people at that buffet.
Yeah, just look at each other like, "Oh my god!" You know what I mean?
Nobody else got the fucking soup but these two, really.
Exactly, kind of. But yeah, no, she just seems appreciative. Like, oh, they actually complimented it. Oh, great! You know what I mean? Yay!
I don't think we've met. I'm Sean Houlihan.
To be fair to her, she steps so she's beside Christopher now and extends her hand.
Yeah, he takes it, and it's one of those things where he's obviously someone who doesn't know his own strength, but has gone the other direction in it. So when he does take her hand, it's probably too light.
Should smile. Elena McNamara.
Pleased to meet you.
Oh, well, where are my manners? Come here, girlie. Myrtle do that shy out, she just appears in front, out from Christopher's back, surprise! There's a kinfolk. This is my youngest. This is Morin. Say hello, Morin. Do the very practiced bow. You know what I mean?
Glad to meet you properly this time around.
Gives polite little do you know what I mean?
Yeah, even Sean looks kind of awkward teenager for a second.
Christopher's yes, that was a trying experience. And then he's oh, do you know what I mean? Well, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, and I understand that you've been quite helpful towards members of my family, so I appreciate it.
Christopher and his people have been really good to me and mine from the first. Just makes sense to look out for people who look out for you.
Well, I'm glad that the honor of the Grove, the the Red Branch, is being upheld even by new arrivals. I'm glad to see you bringing a similar standard.
The Arun nods as he is out eloquented by this kinfolk. Just, yes. Yes, you put it into words that I can't string together. Yes.
Did the job for me.
Excellent.
How are your pack doing? Well?
They are. I think last I sensed them, they were with the Den Mother.
They will be a while. Smile. It's the first time you see it's a half smirk. I trust you will give the Lady Maeve our regards. I did mention to Elena that she was a Macfion, so Elena will not. Macfion is.
I mean,
did you watch that happen in real time? You know the three noises.
I can, but it's actually pretty easy for me to just call her over here. If that'd be all right.
I'll put like this: Elena EXE stopped working. Do you know what I mean? We would be highly honored.
John just kind of awkwardly half smiles. There's a genuine aw shucks moment. This is not the most eloquent of men, my dots.
Oh yeah.
But he's at least very genuine, he's very forthright. So there's a aw shucks kind of moment. And then he gets that look they all look when they're focusing on the pack link. You wouldn't be able to tell in Christopher's case. He's just always like that, but
never-ending stare.
That was fucking mood, okay?
But Maeve, you get Sean up in your brain pan. Hey, Maeve.
Do I?
Maeve.
Yep.
Maeve.
Yes?
Are you in a position where you can escape from LA, the kind of situation you're in?
So on one hand, what? And on the other hand, yes, the Den Mother's eating now.
Escape from LA, it was like the sequel to Escape from New York. It wasn't as good as the first. It doesn't matter.
I'll take your word for it.
It was all right. Kurt Russell's cool. But anyway, the McNamara's would be really pleased to meet you because you're a Macfion and you're not a D-bag.
It's that moment of the glance in the appropriate direction. Oh, really?
Yeah, Marianne's kind of shy, but her mom is like straight up fangirling the fuck out. And I think it would really make her day if she got to meet a no shit Macpheon.
Well, I hope I don't shatter her expectations. But yeah, she'll kind of glance over to make sure that Mom is contentedly being fed by her cubs, who she loves, because
Yeah,
they are not ruins or philodoxes.
Oh, Doug is the Philodoxy. Doug is
Oh.
like,
Duncan gets to pout offside.
Basically, she's like this with Duncan. But he's young enough, so she doesn't mind him. He's not telling her what to do, so he gets past.
He is not doing the bad things yet. Soon
Yep.
he will be uppity, and then she will have to bite him.
Exactly like this man.
Can't fathom.
But
And
I
that's
put,
when
like,
we learned that Rory was in full plate because of her.
She might
thought
try
that-
to go for the ankle any minute.
I will put it like this though: when Maeve does walk over to the McNamara's, like Cara, who's near the McTighe, will just see, that's too late. Shit.
He doesn't give a shit. He can stay normal sized.
Too late, too
Everyone
high.
else zooms in.
Too like too high for this bullshit.
Kara's
he-
just quietly thinking, "Oh boy."
And he's just looking at Maeve, but not for the reason she's going near the McDonald.
That booty, though. God damn it.
There's so many mixed opinions in the McTighe camp.
Yeah.
It's a very conflicted family right
They're
now.
very contentious people, the
Their
McTiges.
their next family dinner is going to be a hoot.
Potential traitor. Maybe potential traitor. That ass. I'm too high for this bullshit.
Oh my god. But yeah, she'll hop up and go over. Just start, walking that away.
A couple of people glance over, like Fiona looking over, like, oh, do you know what I mean? In Silverfang.
In Silverfang. Do it. Judge me.
Gleaming Eye always watching.
Mm.
Sean looking back at Fiona like, principles!
Just stares at him like. No, she doesn't say anything. She just takes a bite of an apple, just watching.
It's always an apple with you.
That's sus of your apple.
The
Sus
last
as fuck.
thing Maeve hears before she makes like talking distances. Where the fuck does she always get an apple from? What the fucking shit? Fucking hold on, me these fucking apples. This is a nice apple too. What the fuck she got to apple? Oh, all right. Here.
Fuck. It gets like an askance glance, like you're weird about that. Just so you know.
Like apples.
But yeah, she'll come over. Offer, light smile to the group. She likes Christopher just fine, and I mean, Murian hasn't really spoken to her, but not really. But she's at least tried to be nice, and yeah, offers a light nod to, I mean, obviously the maternal figure.
She licks in the hand.
She'll offer her hand in exchange.
Shakes it. You don't need to. She's like, I just shook a hand from that.
And yeah, she does the little handshake, and it's a pleasure to finally meet you.
Oh no, the pleasure is all ours. I mean, after all, you're a Machion, and well,
She kind of, it's a teasing smile. She kind of, pulls up the hand and does a little squinch gesture. Just a little one. Grinning.
I mean, a little is still a lot, and as they say, Warren just looks at her like, Mom.
Mom, you're fucking killing me right now. I mean, at least Maeve seems...
My picture for fucking Warren's expression of her mother fucking.
Oh my god, yes.
Mom jokes.
Christopher doesn't change his fucking expression at all, does he?
Christopher's just like peasants. You shouldn't mean that.
No!
That's what fucking Warren is like.
Are you serious right now?
Are you fucking kidding me? Christopher just stares silently, judging you all.
I mean, she does offer the side nod to Murian, because
Yeah,
she's seen her before.
Warren gives the polite, like, hello, sorry for my mother type nod. Doesn't say anything, but just always nods.
The little smile. And it's good to see you again.
Just gives a polite little, like, yes, nod. Has not spoken.
Is the mom still just babbling? Is she saying
Oh.
anything I can catch on to and use to make conversation?
The mother's like, oh, don't mind her. She says, you know, that bit on the shy side, you know. Oh. But anyway, how are you? You know, I'm
Oh.
sure you must find it absolutely lovely here.
I do.
Oh,
I
that's wonderful.
actually grew up in a completely different setting, and my parents showed me so many pictures of Ireland, so many pictures online, so many pictures in books, and it's amazing to finally see it all in person.
Oh, well, you know, they say they don't call it the home country for a reason. Many crew that will come here from the States often do find themselves lamenting not only the amount of rain, but also the fine history. So I'm glad you can experience it. It's a great thing.
It really is. I don't mind the rain at all.
Oh, Shalina, you're one of the lucky ones then. We're Irish and we hate the fucking rain.
There's like, I mean, the Dimples, man. She's fucking great.
Aaron's just like, why is my mother so embarrassing? Just staring.
Me and Maeve are from New York, so we got rained on a lot.
Oh. Do you know what I mean? Does that? I mean, literally, that Irish mom, like, oh no, I'd love to. Oh, the bird just like looking at Christopher, like, help me. Do you know what I mean?
I know they make it sound and look like a lot, but it's a lot of buildings, not a lot of green.
What's the means in? What's the Empire State Building like?
It is. It's funny because when you see the pictures of it on its own, it looks so big and grand and wonderful. But when you're in the city, it's not even close to being the tallest building anymore. Though,
Back away.
but it is fun to see the ways that they light it up for different holidays, celebrations.
Ah. Do they have the big festivals there? You know, did they actually do that? Like they sing in that Pogue song. You know, the marches and all that.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I grew up out on Long Island, but Dad'd bring me in for the parades.
And I grew up in Queens, so it's pretty easy to go see him if you had the mind to.
Mm-hmm. A lot of parades.
Well, then I'll be like Kirsty McCall then. Won't it, Chris? No, just Chris doesn't say a goddamn thing.
Chris slowly dies just a little more inside.
She just nudges Chris and it's like nudging Watts. You know what I mean?
It's a real big, busy place. I don't think I'd seen anything like too green outside of Central Park until I changed. I went upstate once I changed. A lot more rural out there. Me and Maeve kind of flip flop. When you were on like a farm,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she was a farm girl. She went to train in the city, and I was a city guy, and I went to train up in the mountains.
Oh, wow. We're just simple country folk, you know?
But that's what feels like home about it.
Oh, well, I suppose, you know. But if you ever want to see some of the old photos and all that, we have a little room, you know, in the main area. You know, I could show you some of the old stuff.
I'd love to.
Oh, I love bringing tea and everything.
That would be lovely.
Oh. I tell you, she's like, oh, do you know what I mean? Oh.
She just starts straight shorting out and making excited Irish noises.
Yeah, Warren's just like, wonderful. They'll be coming over for tea. Great.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Marion is still at least periodically getting the glance like, sorry, Like, I can't stop. I have to be polite. You understand, right? I promise I'm not doing this to torture you. Like, this
Just
is
that,
all
like,
in, like, teenager
thin-lipped line
code.
that's just like, just a thin-lipped line, like, yeah, you know what I mean? Well, I should be letting you get on. I think you don't want to be bothered by little me, and but you look lovely. You look at that. You look really nice. You just say not. Of course, you know that already.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. All things considered, what kind of puberty do they have running in that family?
4.
So they're barely shy of her. I dare say
Yep.
you don't look half bad yourself.
But I'll put it like this: it probably stings a bit, Maeve. They are not dressed in fine clothes. Like some of the you see the McCarthys even have fine clothes, the McTeagues, the McNesses. They're in hand-me-downs.
I feel like sooner or later Maeve's going to get a forcible wardrobe change, but
Like Chris
she's been
you can
sticking to,
tell
like,
Chris is doing. I'll put it like this: Chris is doing his best, but there's only so much Rage 4 can get you. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know how much it helps, but Maeve tends to go very boho. She's got, like, comfortable, loose-fitting, kind of almost hippie-ish
We can both
looking
roll a
stuff.
perception. I'll put it this way: both roll perception alertness.
Okay. I will totally do that. Let me scroll up. And have my sheet already open because I'm stupid.
I got 2.
Sean would be very. Oh yeah, go ahead, man. Sorry.
Oh,
They
sorry.
said you already broke. No, it's okay.
Oh, 3.
All right, I'll give it to you. We both got the same threshold. Sean particularly can recognize the idea of, particularly for Morin's case, the little top that she has. He recognizes the patches that you would have seen, in some of the poorer families, particularly in Queens. You know what I mean? It's got that vibe off it.
The reason Sean spots it is because he wore clothes like that for a lot of his life.
You can tell now she's got some clothes that are definitely store bought, but they wouldn't be exactly like, oh yes, we're going to this shop. No, it's Chris obviously does his best to try buy things, or Morin tries to buy things with the money she gets off Chris. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Outlets and sales.
And you can tell, like, Elena's pretty and young and all that, but you can see the stress lines under her eyebrows, and you can tell that's a woman that is doing her best to manage. Her dress is pretty, but you can tell just by the way she wears it, she's uncomfortable, because to be honest, at one point she probably wore much finer dresses than this.
That hurts my soul. I just want you to know that.
Sean ain't saying nothing. He knows what's up.
No, it's, she says you're very pretty, and I mean, Maeve does. Like, if she's still got a hand, she'll, clap the other one on top of it, like you do in a, sincere little gesture, and just be like, I dare say you don't look half bad yourself.
Oh, don't mind this thing as I threw this little ditty on, Never know, it's an old thing, Just throw it out of the closet, Peony.
Oh, poor thing. All right, let me cry. That's 3.
That is out of probably the Irish equivalent of a thrift shop, which is charity shops known as Oxfam. She is ashamed that she's meeting a Macfionn dressed in an Oxfam dress she bought for like €2 on sale. That she is ironed and restitched to look somewhat respectable. It's so subtle because a proud woman is a proud woman, and she can mask that, but you catch it.
Well, my mother did always say that how you wore the thing was far more important than what you were wearing. And you wear it very well.
Oh, well, of course. Of course.
But yeah, she just, again, that little bit of a hand pat, and then we'll kind of politely begin to disengage.
Oh yeah, you can totally do it.
And through the pack link, it's just, how the fuck do we get money, Sean? I don't have any kinfolk ties over here.
In my case, I get like some money every now and again through the people that help me get out of Sentinel because you don't become the alpha of a sept without making enemies, and it turns out that Centribution's enemies love me. But that's about all I got going for me. Like I've got enough to kind of keep us in some gear, keep rough clothes on us, for a scrape, but that's about it. The sept covers a lot. Like I'm gonna be real with you. If they didn't pay for our food and our digs, I don't know if we'd be able to like have good gear and eat. Not off my money. Why you ask?
Just have a thought that still needs some work.
All right, I know what you're thinking, right? You want some of that money to go to them, don't you?
Yes, but
saw
they
the
don't want to
package.
look like, they don't want to feel like charity cases.
No, they don't.
I will.
Look, Maeve, this is how I see it. Okay, like the best thing you can do for these people is to be decent to them, and over time, should they become friends to us, which frankly I already consider Chris under that, given what him and his have done for us, you'd be a good friend to them. But pride's like air for us.
Oh no.
It is. So you just try to be good people and listen to them, and when we do talk to them, look around what's around. And maybe, sometime will come up like a birthday of theirs or like Christmas. And that's the time that we take our money and we give them something that doesn't look like charity. It just looks like we're being nice because we're friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how we rock this. I know what you're thinking. I'm thinking the same thing because let me fucking tell you. I wore clothes like that for a long time. My family wasn't in the straits theirs are in, but we weren't exactly the most beloved people on our block either. I feel for them, I really do. But we got to be a certain way about this.
Yeah. I just hate
I
it.
guarantee you, though, like, whatever little dips and downsides you're finding out of this, you definitely made at least somebody's day. Walk good with that. For real.
Yeah, for what it's worth, she does at least force a little bit of a smile. Looks it back over.
Tell you this shit now. The youngest got a lot of fight in her.
Mm-hmm.
So there's hope.
Yeah.
Oh shit. They brought out the cheesecake.
Oh my god.
Let's go get the cheesecake, Maeve.
You are completely hopeless.
Maeve,
She's
cheesecake.
walking back, back into the mingle.
Cheesecake. Make
Well,
my
go get some cheesecake.
day. Cheesecake. Where have you been all my life? You confected treat as he's picking up the cheesecake.
My God, Sean, it's food, not a woman. You
I
should
mean-
just say that as a pack link.
Like, look. All right, food's great. Women are better. You can only love food once.
Oh my goodness. Oh look, someone I know, and she just literally just glances around and just like, this direction is full of people. I can pick one of them by the time I get there, I swear.
Kara's just gonna say as a pack link to Sean, wow. How much longer do you think it's gonna take before she gets used to that?
I mean, if I were to actually find somebody willing to date me, I have no idea how long it'd take her to get used to my attitude towards food.
I mean, well, look, I'm not saying I've got the hookup for you, but honestly, just you know what? You know what, Sean?
No, you got a point. After this, we got to start thinking about our next mission. But for now, cheesecake.
Actually, I was gonna say, maybe we should get the pack together and have dinner with my family.
It's certainly a thought. I kind of want to see how this get together with Cackling Thunder goes for me first. Because while the matter was formally settled on the field, there's some things going on there that are deeper than I can fully ken with a belly full of cheesecake in my mind on that one girl's, yeah. So I'll think about it.
Maybe you should bring her a piece of cheesecake and say hi.
She already heading off. And yes, Torna, he gets like one good glance at that.
Mord's not heading off. She's still standing there with her fucking family. They're waiting for you guys. They're waiting for people to leave.
Oh, like, and then Sean like recalculates. Oh wait, no, I understand now. Nah, that'd be counterproductive. Another time. Yeah, another time.
I don't know where Maeve has power walked herself, but she has walked herself there. That's the two of them talk about that booty and cheesecake.
What are you
Mostly
looking for?
cheesecake.
Exactly. But
Honestly, she wasn't. She was just like, man, someone I know. I'm going this way. And it's going to get to a certain point and then kind of look around like, who the fuck is...
I'll introduce some people. It's fine. Don't worry.
I welcome spontaneity. Oh god.
Eventually, you pass by, a chair, and you walk through, and eventually he goes, "Is this the McShun girl?" Machine. And we go, "Oh yeah, no, that's her." And you look over, young lady.
The glance?
Might I stop you?
Of course.
Smiles. James Sullivan.
Oh, it's very good to meet you. And she'll come over and
Says
off
the hand. And he got that smooth, silky grip.
Maeve Maxion.
Ah, it is finally a pleasure to actually meet the Macron in the flesh. And she is as lovely as I predicted she'd be. Kiss the pop bit of your hand.
She gets the knuckle kiss. It's already weird.
He's real.
Adorably flattered.
But you're like shit. You see what I mean?
That one didn't scare her. Damn it!
Well, I must say, Nate, from New York, I believe the gossips are.
I was being reared up at Sup to the Green.
It's good to see that for once the gossips are right.
She kind of
It's a very genial, like,
faintly
smile.
smiles. Is it?
Well, you know how gossip is. One ear out the other, and next thing you know, you could meet a person from Sept of the Crescent Moon, but actually they're from somewhere else. So it is an intriguing thing to see the gossips actually align both in terms of the lady's beauty and of her origin.
Well, that means the third fact probably has to be outrageously untrue.
I am hoping to God it is. That way I can have a trifecta of joy at my luck.
What's the third rumor? Because now she's kind of curious.
Smile. Oh, the third rumor is you were whisked away here on a great battle that you led a glorious charge in.
Well, I certainly didn't lead a glorious charge.
Oh, you probably flatter yourself. Wink, playfully.
I did ride a horse very, very fast, but
there
I
you
didn't
go.
even have the reins.
Smile. Sometimes you don't need the reins in order to do good things. There's a little, like, wink, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's very, again, he's playful. He's bouncy.
He is, and I'm scared. Oh god, he's Fionnucan. Okay. I was trying to check real fast, like, oh god, which is he?
He's kinfolk.
I know, I was just trying to see which, I couldn't remember which tribe he was.
He's piano.
Yep. Well, I'm sad to say that true to form, the third was at least a little off.
Oh, well. Can't
But
win all the time, but
isn't bad.
I am... Oh, no. I know 3 is an auspicious number, but getting close to that, you've got to be doing something right, at least. Yeah?
I hope so.
Well, I mean, it'll be a bit awkward if it wasn't now.
I suppose it would.
But tell me, how are you finding here?
It's beautiful. I do still miss friends and family, but I don't miss being in the middle of New York City.
That is... I imagine it's quite the hustle.
It's nice to be on Sept and not smell exhaust constantly.
Ah, so you're not like young Ushin here, puts his arm around Ushin. The thrill of the city this man lives for, so I hear. Ushin's like, yeah, I do. Do you know what I mean?
It's not that the city's an awful place, I imagine, especially... Oh, out here I imagine it's not quite so, smuggy.
Oh, it's... No, not at all. The echoes. They are quite beautiful.
Echoes?
Of course, along the cliffs. If you play the right tune off a violin, the echoes do, glisten.
Yeah, she's all interested again, like, wait, what? Ooh?
You've never played the violin before?
No.
Lady Maeve. I've heard the Macfions are renowned violin players.
I admit I think of all the people here, I've heard least about the Macchions, so
Well, you're in luck. I have heard many tales.
poor Oshi.
You can tell Oshin is like, I am. You know what I mean? He's got that 18-year-old like, oh fuck, this guy's better than me. Do you know what I mean? I'm just
I
gonna
mean, she's not
you know what I
ignoring
mean?
him. Oh god.
coming out here and eating my food and fuck, man. You know what I mean? That's basically what she.
I mean, does Oshin really look that like dejected?
Oshin's kind of had this like, I have just been caught in the wilderness of Dr. Smooth and his long, perfect fucking hair and his smooth, fucking slick attitude, and I am drowning.
Yeah, you know what? Kara will come and give him some support.
Oh god. She's wingmanning. What the shit?
And Kara slides over, and James raises an eyebrows and says, and here is the other lady of the MacTags I have heard so much about.
It's Sullivan, right?
James Sullivan, yes.
James
the
Sullivan.
lady. You do
Yeah,
the smooth little hand thing.
I'm glad you corrected me. I almost called you Jimmy. And she'll
I
smile.
almost called you Vanessa, so you know we both are getting mistaken.
Yes. She gives him a polite smile.
You smile back, you know what I mean? Like it's a playful little wink at Maeve as well, you know what I mean?
Maeve's like, there's tension here, I know it. I'm not sure what's happening, but I'm pretty sure the tea's hot. Like,
And Kara, where are you from? I can't quite exactly remember.
Heather never came up with an answer for this question. Here.
quick, make something up.
Mm.
I'm
Oh,
from
you know.
Septive Set. I'm from the Septive Set. That's where I'm from.
Oh, you know, little village near the sept of the weeping willows.
Oh, that's so quaint. I like it. Very country-esque. I really do like
Oh yeah.
that. Smile. Really like, so charming. And just another little sly wink at Maeve like that. Do you know what I mean? It's so he's like a pixie almost.
Was a nice place to grow up.
Oh, yes. I mean, I imagine it was all the country fields, the farms, the streams. I hear the countryside is the most advantageous place.
Oh, I mean it's not just fields and streams. It's fishing and farming and sheep. Oh, I could tell you more than you ever cared to know about sheep. I guarantee you that.
I'm sure you could. You'll smile. I know she's like looking at Cara, like leaning in, like you lean in and whisper in her. Help me. No, you just lean in.
She
He just leans in. It's like they say he's like meant to become a. He said he was meant to become a Galliard. I don't know, man. He is. I am sweating. Sweating.
Kara gives him just like a little pat on the back, like there, I got you, buddy.
But I was curious, ladies. Have you ever? Do any of you play instruments? I suppose you wouldn't care about all the sheep. You wouldn't want to scare them away.
Oh no, actually, I when I was in school, I learned how to play the flute.
Oh, that is an achievement.
I can't say I'm, a master flautist or anything like that, but I did learn.
I am amazed. I thought a proud MacTag like yourself would you think and rub a little bit of a beard. I thought a proud MacTag like yourself would command the flute. I hear you're renowned in terms of your ability to take control of them. My, so many babies here. I can't believe they looking around.
It's like a small herd of dinosaur running around here, and Kara
It must be the
sees.
sheep. He leads it. It must be the sheep, Kara. I'll look to you for advice on what to do next.
It's like the saddest thing in the background. Okay, come on, kids. Like
Kara's just
your moms are
Kara's
like
just-
right over there. Come on.
Like Kara takes a minute and takes the children and turns them so they're running in the direction of Sean. Sean will find their mom.
Sean is now just like trapped in a sea of kids that he's trying to herd back to their mothers. Come on, little guys.
And he'll smile. Lady Maeve, have you ever played anything? I don't believe you have. From what you said before, your darling friend arrived.
No. I had a friend back home that I considered. Well, we were going to teach me to play the harp, but we didn't really have the chance to get started.
It is a noble instrument, the harp. Renowned for many tales of different beauties. Often they say the most decadent of players will play the harp. Most galliards, in fact, would play the harp and then tell a tale while they played it in the olden days.
Really?
Not. It was a common tradition.
It sounds wonderful to hear.
So I imagine for your theatre, Jess?
Yes.
It's a shame I cannot go into the Umbra. I imagine playing that to different spirits is a beautiful sight.
Oh, the dimples.
Well, she just further like, I am against Barry White, and I am dying. You know what I mean?
That poor man is against a wall. Oh,
Like,
poor guy.
You can see, maybe you can see him visibly like, right, I'm gonna think of, I don't know what to say. I'm gonna, oh, he beat me to that. That was a lie. Fuck.
Kara leans in. You should invite her to dinner.
What do you mean invite her to dinner?
Invite her to dinner.
It's a bit forward, isn't it?
Hello, I'm her packmate.
So? Just because you're a packmate don't mean I just go, hey, Maeve, you want to go for dinner? Jesus, I was going to ask if I want to go for fucking coffee or something, Kara, like normal people do. It's not like, Elena, it's not like I'm trying to get her to get in my guts like almost fucking immediately. I am trying to smooth this.
So, go smooth. Invite her and the rest
How
of the
can I
pack
go
for dinner.
How can I go smooth when they have Mr. fucking Dr. Sexy over there? Look at him.
It'll go.
I'm gonna die.
It's just like, so you do it someplace where she's not in the picture, where you have control. Invite her out to the city, to the pub.
Wonderful. I'll do that then. Walks over. So, May, have you ever been to the pub down in Brooks Rest? You see her, she fuck! You know what I mean? Like behind him.
Oh no! Oh god, oh shit. Oh no. I feel so bad for him now, and poor Maeve, bless her fucking heart, she's not catching this shit. She really has no idea what the fuck is going on right now. She is the most adorable and useless, kind of oblivious. So she just, the innocent handshake. No, I don't think I have.
Well, you should stop by Tuesday evenings. They do the traditional music.
Just a little nod.
Some guru turn up there as well. It's often a very monumentous occasion.
I will see if I can find one of them to accompany me then.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I'll let the band know we will have a Macrion in our presence. I'm sure one of them will at least faint. Wink playfully. Hopefully not while playing. That would be kind of awkward.
Will you tell me if they do? She seems kind of entertained by the idea.
I will make sure I'll even point them out to you when you arrive.
There's just kind of that adorable, mirthful little kind of like, oh, smile.
Well, I will see you there, and first round's on me. How about that?
That sounds lovely.
Could I get your contact details just so I know, you know it's the right place and all that? I'm sure you do, but you never want to be too careful.
Remind me, this is long enough ago that she doesn't just have a cell
You
phone
can
to
have
whip
phones.
out.
Yeah.
Oh, come
You probably
on.
have like house phones or anything like that. That 2003, there were phones there, but they weren't like you could use them just for texting and playing Snake on. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They're
I
the
was
brick
about,
phones, the Nokia 3310s, and those type of shit.
I guess the real thing it comes down to is, has somebody replaced her phone because she was snagged on a
Yeah,
mission, so she didn't have it with her?
People would have given you contact stuff by now. Definitely.
Okay. I was gonna really laugh if I had to turn over to Kara and be like, so what's our number again? Yeah, sure. She pulls out the phone and has to do that thing where you like go through the settings to find the number because it's a new phone and she hasn't memorized it yet.
Oh, yeah, and he'll wait patiently and takes it, and he give his, and he's very charming. And then we'll turn. Best of luck with the sheep, Karen. Winks as he's walking by.
It's the damnedest thing because like she kind of keys in the number and it's cheerful little way of like, well, that was nice. Just so painfully oblivious. Kind of glances back over to Kara and Oshin because, oh, hey, they're still here. I can still talk to them. Yay!
Oh, she just stares longingly away. Like, no.
You okay? Kind of like leaning over to look at Oshin.
Oh yeah, no, I'm fine. It's a great night, Sunday, Tuesday night. Yeah, it's great. It's wonderful. Really cool you're coming.
Will you be there?
Yeah, totally. I'll go every night.
She kind of smiles and says, oh, good. Then I'll have someone to sit with that I know.
Great. Yeah, great. That'd be wonderful. Yeah.
Because by her logic, he said he's in the band. He's going to be on stage. I mean, that's cool and all, but...
Yeah, no, I'll totally be there. Yeah, exactly. And suddenly he starts to pick up speed. Yeah, no, definitely. I know the best seats in the house as well.
It's just the dimples again. Really?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, best seats in the house. You can come with myself and Fiona, Magnasa, and Kara. Just so everything's pretty cool, and some cool places that we can sit down, relax, everything's nice. You know what I mean? If that's okay now, all right?
Oh, yeah, that sounds great.
Oh, wonderful. I'll pick you up outside your place at about like 8, because that's like normally gotta like gets a bit packed.
Sure.
Perfect.
The smile.
Yeah, Kara will look at Oshin and say, hey, Oshin? Yeah, I was just thinking. You remember a while ago you offered to help me get oriented with the little village and stuff. Why don't you go a little bit earlier? Show me around the city. I bet she'd enjoy that.
Yeah, sure. Totally. I totally did that. Yep. Yeah, definitely.
She's like, that would be awesome. I've kind of walked through very quickly, but I didn't get much chance to look around.
Oh, he says he knows all the cool places to shop.
I do know all the cool places to shop.
Kara gives a little wink at him.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it'd be great.
fucking dying here, man. So, Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday. That'll be great. I will see you guys later. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Happy little wave.
Walking back over to fucking Fiona like this, Fiona Magnessa.
Like, like what? I'm scared. And as you know, the two girls are, I assume, walking back towards Sean. It's the glance aside. Is he okay? He was talking really fast. Right at the end.
Oh, Sheen. Yeah, he. Yeah, he's good. He's just well, you know, today.
Oh.
Kind of a rough day, but you know, I'm glad you went over to talk to him because you know, he seemed a lot more chipper talking to you than when I was talking with him and the rest of the family earlier.
Oh. And again, the dimple's like, oh, good.
Yeah, he's a real sweet guy.
He does seem to be.
Got a pretty good sense of humor too. You know, I was talking to Sean earlier. I thought maybe a nice gesture of goodwill would be you know, if we got together as a pack, had dinner with the McTags.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it'd give you guys a chance to meet my family and, you know, for them to see that we are a pack.
Was there any doubt?
Oh, I mean, you know, we kind of taken opposite sides in some things.
I suppose we have. You and I mean, she like glance over to wherever Rory and them went off to. Is everything okay with you?
I think I realized some stuff about my cousin, but I don't really know how to ask him about it.
What do you mean?
I knew a lot of our family died. But I didn't realize how much of it he probably saw. And who all was there. And
Well, on the one hand, I guess there are people who would say that this is already a hard time, but then again, with the story, even the tale singer mentioned them getting two people out. So, what better opportunity are you going to have to ask him whatever you need to ask? It's not like you're trying to make him relive anything. It's not like you're trying to suss out something unflattering. You just want to understand your cousin and to know. Just, she kind of like lightly shrugs. Just ask. Be honest and open and nice about it, but just ask. Gently.
Yeah, I guess I could try. I mean,
And-
just because.
Worst, he doesn't want to talk about it, or he's upset, and you just apologize and go.
Yeah,
And that way you're still showing respect.
it's just. I don't even really know what to say. It's just. Yeah.
You could say you want to understand. And just let him tell you as much or little about it as he wants to.
Yeah.
But if the whole point is to understand him because he is your family now, then what's there to be upset about?
I guess you're right. It's just.
It's a hard thing to ask, but today is about remembering it.
Yeah. It is. And
Gives her shoulder a little rub.
okay. Oh, hey, I snagged you some cheesecake.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. And you see, she hands the plate over to me. There is a generously sized piece of cheesecake and a little fork on the plate.
As it should be. Maeve is now placated with cake. Because motherfucking cheesecake.
Kara will go over to talk to Rory.
Rory and Sonia are near each other. Rory's just a bit ahead, just kneeling down on one of the graves.
Oh, whose grave is it?
His brother.
Oh, yep. She's not gonna say anything right away. She's gonna take Sonia's advice. Just wait.
I mean, he'll stand up and eventually start walking to get some food.
She'll look at Sonia.
She just looks over at you.
And she's kind of just like points her head in the direction of the food. Like, should I follow?
She kind of raises the eyebrow. It's kind of like if you want to go talk to him, that type of eyebrow raise.
She'll nod. And Kara will follow.
Rory just picks up some food and is putting it very gently on the plate. Looks like he's making like 2 sets, one for him, one for Sonia.
Yeah, Kara will go in, get herself a plate together. How are you, cousin? How are you today?
Manager.
Good to hear. You did again. There's a little child that's just shooed over toward Sean. I learned some things today about what happened, and I want to understand better what happened to our family that day. I want to understand you better, cousin.
Tailsinger told his tale. Did he not?
He did.
And what in your small brain can you not understand?
Any conclusion I make is still a conclusion I'm jumping to about what you believe and why you believe it.
Why do you care how much I believe?
Partly because we're family,
Are we?
but also
Really? He turns like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, whoa, you know what I mean? Really? Are we family? Or are you someone that married into my family, Kara?
she sets her jaw at that because
Which is first, Flynn or MacTaig, in your name?
it is Flynn.
Then
That's not why.
there is your answer. My wife's name is Sonia MacTaig. Sonia MacTaig. So do not presume to know me or me, and you do not even give my family the courtesy. And when you marry in, you do refuse to take our name, as per custom. You chose the side. I will not berate you, I will not hassle you. And not on a day like today when we are united. That is not my goal. And that is not anyone's goal here. But do not presume to know me, and your path is one you walk. And you have not earned your station, like my wife has, like the wives who have sacrificed themselves for this family. You will keep my kin happy. We are thankful. But until I see you earning your place among this family, you do not get to know the torments, the pain, and the will behind it. The MacTaig must earn their place before they have the right to stand among the line of the Red Branch.
I understand. I'm sorry for my impudence.
It is not impudence I see. Now is that all, or do you wish to attempt to pry into my life further?
No, Raya.
Good. He takes like a firm bite, just very stiff, very angry.
She'll just kind of wait for him to go through and get the plates before finishing up hers.
It's more he kind of looks at you and basically says, "Get the fuck out of my sight." You know, it's that type of look. Essentially, is like, "Move." You know what I mean? It's that firm, like, stare of "You're in my way, so get the fuck out of my way." As he like moves to go get more food. Essentially, it's more like, "I'm the Adrian here. You're the kid, so get the fuck out." You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. She'll step right aside.
And Sonia will eventually, like, subtly slide her way over to where you are. And just slide in. Very casually. As if she's picking up something. Like, oh yes, this will do nicely. She'll lean in. Kara, a word.
Oh, yes, Sonia?
And she'll just slide off like, oh, don't mind us. We're just gonna go this way, and we're turning, and we are around one of the corners. Her tan skin, kind of leans over. She just does a little subtle glance over and just... I'm not going to tell you what you did was ill-advised. But certain topics in this family are not broached easily.
I'm getting that feeling.
You are an outsider to them. As I was once. They respect those who be in the forefront of them. And to be there. It takes time, but once you earn that, they will respect you and open up to you. Be there.
I will.
Don't see that as discouragement. It took me a while to adjust to this place, just as much as it's taking you and your friends. Duh.
I bet you money he just reached around and was like, slap!
Yep.
You didn't need to be in this hangout. That was fast.
Yeah, somebody refresh the page.
Oh, very helpful.
So helpful. The last thing I heard was, don't let that discourage you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so I didn't miss much. Yeah, Carl will look at Sonia. I don't see it as discouragement. I see it more as a bar of how much I still have to live up to.
No, it's good.
Yeah,
They'll open up to you when you have earned the right to be opened up to.
she'll look off in Rory's direction. I've always heard about the big Fianna families. McFiones, McNessas, of course,
Yeah.
McPike.
Yes. And to lean in. You have to balance your relationship to each of them, but remember where you come from. I am from... I may socialize with every member of these Sems, but I still am the wife of Rory MacTaig. That will carry weight. You are the wife of a MacTaig. You are the guru, so you will have greater leniency and greater responsibility. But your name still carries the family weight. You chose to have the name as part of yours. Weight comes with all of that. So remember that in all your dealings from now on. You're still cleared, so people will think that you're just trying to appease everyone. But remember, the wait will always be there.
I am unfortunately having to balance pack and family.
As does Rory, as does Ogilvy. But keep that in mind. Offer things that offer compromise rather than a harsh needle. Rory's pack aligned to him because they eventually, over time, came to the principles of common goals. You have to learn the same thing. They will not change at the drop of a pin. Nobody is that loyal in the beginning. You're only new.
I feel like I'd be lost without them.
Which, the family or your pack? The smile?
My pack, actually.
I see.
I when I was a cub, I struggled with not having that bond, without having orders. Once those of us who were cubs at the time kind of found ourselves a little group, everything
Well,
got
it's
easier.
good that you found that, and I'm glad you said that so highly.
But
But keep that in mind, which is more important to you. The man over there, or the two over there, and which will you be willing to compromise more for? And she'll listen. She'll listen in. It's good that you repeated it to me, that you put pack over family, and not my husband. Keep that in mind to learn to when to say the right thing to the right people, Kara. Otherwise, you will find yourself dragged in this place. And it's because I see a lot of myself when I first began here that I am taking sympathy. And my husband will not hear of this.
I appreciate that.
Don't appreciate it, learn from it.
I'm struggling.
You married into our blood. You made the choice.
I did.
Your pack, you made the choice to join them. But packs are not for permanent. Family is forever. If you wish to be a Fianna and a successful one on the Sept, keep that in mind. And she'll give you the pat on the shoulder and start walking. Just so subtly, as if, we're just two girls having a chat, don't mind us.
Kara will, she'll see her off and just like, ah, yes, Lady Sonia. Thank you so much for your. Oh, hey, look, there's my packmates. Bye. Like it was just a friendly little chat. And so, how are the two of you?
And then he said, Luke, I am your father. And I'll tell you all the rest later. Go back to your parents. Go on.
Were you just telling the children the story of Star Wars?
He made it into a pretty good story, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, it is a pretty good story. I'm just.
I literally just saw their parents kind of like, at least some of their parents come up the lane. They'll sort it out from here. But I had to keep them in like.
Though the spaceships with chariots. Sage
I,
nods.
look, man, I had to keep them in one place until someone could collect them. And Star Wars kind of kept me in one place as a kid, so
I mean, I guess if the shoe fits, I guess I'm just a little surprised. I just kind of figured you'd be more of a Star Trek guy.
the silence.
Even Maeve gives you the side eye.
She
She apparently got that.
she's just like, whoa, whoa. I didn't mean anything negative by it. I just.
There's the slow lean over. The hand comes up to like cup over the ear. I'm pretty sure you just called Sean a nerd.
Bro.
Sits slowly back up.
And Kara looks at Maeve like aghast, like, how is suggesting someone would like one story more than another calling them a nerd?
Look,
Quirks
not
a smile.
important. Not important. Honestly, people are starting to kind of break up, and I think maybe it's our time to head off, unless you want to tend to some of the graves around here.
I think I'll probably hang back and wait for the other mech tags to leave before I do.
Oh, fuck it then. I'm gonna eat some apples.
And yeah, what he's like, I'm gonna get some apples. Just she leans over. I'm gonna guess it didn't go so hot. Are you there, Kara? Did a baby turn off your headset?
Sorry, what was that?
She just kind of like leans over as Sean's like, I'm gonna get an apple, and is like, I'm gonna guess it didn't go so good.
Yeah, no, not great.
He didn't look very happy.
He'll come around eventually.
I'm sure he will.
I just I married into a family that sets a very high bar, and I've not reached that yet.
I mean, you talk all the time about being their family. Just act like their family.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be mad if you sat with your husband and ate with them, you know. I mean, we're right here. She pokes her temple. I know we all eat at the same dining hall, but people appreciate it when you go and you sit with them. And I'm sure, well, family being family.
I guess if he's not there, I could at least eat with Rory.
Well, exactly.
Or
I just figured at least if things were a little iffy, just ask your husband to come when we're going to eat, and we'll. I mean, we can still all eat at the same time. We'll still be close. But at least you could sit with your husband and his family and show that you're interested. Show that you care. My mother would skin me if I tried to. She let me eat in the living room one time. Like, she holds up a finger, so serious. One time. And it was because they were showing a Broadway show. on TV. We all sat in the living room. But dinner's always at the table with your family.
Oh, we didn't have a table big enough to hold all of us. We,
Well- They've got very big tables here.
you know, those little trays that you can set up and eat anywhere? We all had one. And we line them all up wherever we could put them. But yeah, I think I see what you mean.
She gives her a little pat on the shoulder. I think you've got a lot of really good intentions. Just do them.
I will.
And she'll kind of glance over to Sean. And you could stay if you want to, but if things are a little rough, we're gonna go because, well, she kind of does glance over to where the Machnesses are, or McNamara's are. I think they're kind of waiting for people to clear out. So the more people that leave, the more likely more people will go ahead and go.
I'm gonna stay. Wait for the rest of my family to leave. I'll meet up with you guys later.
Okay.
She'll give Maeve's shoulder a little squeeze.
She'll give her a squeeze back and pop up. We'll probably snag a little bit of something off the table and, glance around, do little bits of waves if she needs to, and go ahead and catch up with Sean. A little trotty trot.
Fucking knew she got the apples from somewhere.
Yes, she did. It's like there's a giant fruit bowl right here with apples in it.
Fuck yeah, apples. One apple.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an apple.
Oh, thanks.
Oh yeah.
Are you good, Sean? Kind of glancing over with a little grin.
I mean, like, I got apples. What's up?
Nothing. It's just gives him a pat on his big shoulder. It's good that you're good.
I mean, like, look at it this way. I got problems. You know I got problems. But I just gotta kind of handle my shit. That's
Uh-huh.
life. I know you will.
Whether you like it or not. Big smile.
Oh, I know. No, like, I got a lot on my mind, Maeve. I'm responsible for all three of you guys and my own self and a lot of other shit. And I got whatever other shit rolling around in my head I came here with. And I don't know if you noticed, but I don't really have a lot of words to, like, say it with. But I got to keep it handled because we've got shit to do. You know, like, it's cool going to these feasts. It's great. You know, listening to all these tales, occasionally getting drunk and shit. But if I don't stay on my A game and I don't handle things when we're working so that we're doing our best when we're out there, one of you guys is going to fucking die. And that's going to be on me.
I don't feel like all of the sitting around and thinking in the world is going to change what you have to decide when we actually see the field and what we have to do. You already know what we're good at and what we're not good at. You already have us training with different people to help pad out what we're not good at. You're doing everything you can. So how about instead of worrying about it, she snags his hand. Very authoritative little kid sister hand snag. How about we go back to the rooms and I read you a story.
What?
It's called Relaxing. You should try it.
What?
Come on. He just pulls him by his big old hand.
It is an interesting sight to behold.
Teeny Theurge, Biggeroon, Tug Tug. Marches
You
along.
hold my hand too long, you're gonna freak out Dr. Smooth.
What?
That dude with the goatee that was like 120% macking on you and fucking like completely and utterly and brutally blocking out that young buck. And then Kara flew in like, I'm gonna help you, but he was too smooth for both of them.
There's like a
He's a doctor.
blink.
It's Dr. Smooth.
He was. What?
He was trying to
just
mac on the
talking-
MacFion.
No, he wasn't. He was.
He
just
was
talking about.
super trying to mac on the MacFion. He's trying to get himself a royal upgrade to that booty.
The little look back, like, why are you like this? Do you think everyone's hitting on everyone?
I mean, we're all like 19 and 20 somethings in a really stressful environment.
I'm not macking on anyone.
But you were in fact being macked upon.
He was just being nice.
Perhaps, but game recognizes game. And part of my job as your alpha is to recognize game when it's gaming at you and you don't know it's gaming at you. Just consider me in these cases to be a silent guardian, a
Just like-
watchful protector,
The most
a dark knight.
skeptical little look. Okay, so we're not gonna read a romantic story. Just tugging along.
And you know what? All she gets back is just Sean aggressively making mouth fart noises at her.
What? Stop that! Smacking his shoulder. Sean,
What?
this is a somber and serious occasion.
We're outside of the cemetery.
That doesn't mean you should just make farting noises. Don't be gross.
She's literally calling me a nerd over the hills.
I know, it's kind of
The challenge must be answered.
If you're gonna do that, I'm gonna go read by myself.
Oh my god. I tell you what, we'll go back and we'll play some ping pong and then we'll read books.
Ping pong?
Yeah, I found a ping pong table.
Why ping pong?
Because I found a ping pong table.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Onward to ping pong.
Okay. Just nodding like, all right. You know, Sean, what did you think about the Cubs?
I mean, like, I haven't really met them, dude.
What?
What, the Cubs?
No, the cups, the water.
Oh, the cups. The cups with the P, the cups. Huh.
Yes, that would be the word. Yes,
The
the water.
I mean, water's good.
But you didn't expect water, did you?
I mean, like, no, but honestly, like, I don't know. I don't know so much about symbolism, Maeve.
There's at least, the dimples pop out because, he recognized that there was probably symbolism there. Good job.
Like, I'm sure somebody knows, and maybe at a later point in time they'll be in a mood to explain it to us. But, like, I'm sure that there was some kind of symbolism going on there beyond the basic symbolic gesture of a toast. Like, gotta be something going on with the water. It was it's good water, but, like, it was pretty distinct. Pretty hard left turn.
but I don't know what it is. I'm not that bright.
Well, I thought it was worth asking.
Nah, I got no fucking clue. I know enough to know it's something important.
Well, that is the step in the right direction.
Like there wasn't anything that went down there that wasn't important. You know what I did learn is apparently it's not quite like what we did like today, but apparently something very similar with the tending of the grave sites happens like once every 2 months.
I'll have to make sure to be here.
I'm pretty sure it's an everybody type thing. So you're gonna notice. So right now I've got it down that like there's a big feast like that every month, and then there's like a really big tending of the graves, and it's still like done in a ritual fashion, but I think like this kind of is a standout event that also has it. So that happens every 2 months. And then it's July, so in August there's going to be a big celebration for the like naming day of the Sept. August. I don't know if they do Halloween here, but that's coming up. October, November. They definitely probably don't do Thanksgiving. Like if you want, you, me, and Paul can do Thanksgiving. I'll find a turkey
I think we'll be all right.
or like a pheasant. I'm not
You're-
doing a fucking turducken.
You're so weird.
Fucking hate turduckens. On Christmas, dude. There's probably a million bajillion things that like I don't even fucking know about that are coming down the way.
Very possibly.
Pretty psyched for Christmas.
There's just kind of a wry, like adorably disbelieving smile. Like you are just. It's just that you are something.
I don't know what I'm gonna get people, but I'm pretty psyched for Christmas.
I'm glad you're excited.
I can get people shit. I don't got a lot of money though.
I'm sure you will be innovative and find a way.
Yeah, the way I figured it was that I get like all my packmates something, and then I get like personal friends something, and then I get a bunch of like little cheaper somethings, so I could get them like en masse and just give them out to all the kids and shit.
I think that'd be very sweet.
Yeah. Oh, holy shit! You know what that means, right?
No?
McCarthy's hold a feast every month. There's gonna be a fucking Christmas feast.
I suppose
Christmas
feel
feast,
like
Maeve.
you might be bigger than that.
It's gonna have Christmas food.
Yes?
A fuck ton of it.
Oh god, am I Yule logs back home?
Oh, dude.
John!
Alcoholic eggnog.
I imagine so.
Fuck yes.
Um,
I'm getting sidetracked. It's months from now. Ping pong.
yeah, ping pong. Shall we kill it there?
I'd say so.
All right. So thank you, players, for
The
playing,
place to stop, I think.
and watchers for watching. And we shall away.